Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN 2017 meetings and events started today in Pasay City. Key issues that will be discussed in ASEAN meetings include crafting of the Code of Conduct for the West Philippine Sea, the ASEAN integration, and fighting terrorism. PNP Chief Ronald Bato de la Rosa has revealed how the love blossomed between Police Superintendent Maria Cristina Nobleza and an alleged ABUSAYAFF member, Reniero Dongwon. The two were caught after they tried to evade a police checkpoint in the night the military launched its second operations against the ABUSAYAFF group in Bohol. A social weather station survey showed that 3 in 5 Filipinos favor the revival of capital punishment or death penalty. The SWS noted there was higher approval for the bill among those who were knowledgeable about it. LTFRB officials found out through Isuzu that the engine of the Leo Maric bus, which fell into a ravine in Carangalan, Nueva Ecija last week, is already 33 years old.
This is PTV News. Good evening. I'm Catherine Vital with Richmond Cruz and Sharms Espina. The Philippines takes center stage as the highly anticipated ASEAN and related meeting summit begin today. The leaders of the 9 ASEAN countries are expected to discuss political issues in the region and possible food security in their agenda. Brunei Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah, who will also hold a state visit in the country, is the first ASEAN leader to arrive in the country. This report.
The 4-day series of Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN 2017 meetings and events started today in Pasay City. But the most awaited event, the 30th ASEAN Summit, is happening on the last day, April 29. 9 government leaders of the ASEAN member states, including President Rodrigo Duterte, who is currently the chairman of ASEAN, are expected to attend the ASEAN Summit. Myanmar, however, will be represented by its foreign minister and state councilor, Aung San Suu Kyi. The first ASEAN leader to arrive today was Brunei Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah. This is also his first state visit under the current administration. Indonesian President Joko Widodo is also arriving both for the ASEAN Summit and state visit on Friday. Around 2,000 delegates from 10 ASEAN member states will grace the meetings, while over 1,000 local and foreign journalists are expected to occupy the International Media Center in Pasay City. To avoid inconvenience to motorists and the public, the Metro Manila Development Authority lifted the number coding scheme on April 28 within Metro Manila except Las Piñas and Makati. No road closures were announced except in areas near the Cultural Center of the Philippines or CCP complex. However, MMDA said that they will implement the stop-and-go scheme to give way to the arrival of heads of states and their delegation. This might affect Diokno Boulevard, Halandoni Street, V. Soto Street, Bucaneg Street, A. De la Rama Street, and Makati and Arnaiz Avenues. Key issues that will be discussed in ASEAN meetings include crafting of the Code of Conduct for the West Philippine Sea, ASEAN integration, and fighting terrorism. Meanwhile, a welcome dinner was prepared today for the leaders of senior officials meeting and foreign delegates. Another welcome dinner will be prepared for ASEAN foreign ministers and ASEAN economic ministers. All ASEAN high-level meetings will be held at PICC. It is considered a Philippine icon because aside from it was designed by Filipino national artist Leandro Locsin, it is also the first international convention center in Asia, which opened in 1976. For PTV News, Sweden Velado.
One is a constitutional monarch who's assumed power a couple months after the founding of ASEAN, whose net worth is more than the GDP of several nations put together, and is head of an Islamic nation that has no foreign debt and whose citizens pay zero income tax. The other is a reserve populist and former furniture businessman who mirrors President Rodrigo Duterte in being ultra-tough on corruption and illegal drugs, and is the leader of an OPEC member nation and the largest Muslim country. PTV's Diane Carrere profiles 2 of the most influential and powerful leaders of the ASEAN in her report.
The 30th ASEAN Summit is a historical occasion, as leaders of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations gather together in one venue. One of the ASEAN leaders is Brunei Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah. Sultan Bolkiah was born in 1946 and studied in Malaysia and Britain. He is considered as one of the richest individuals in the world. He is also one of the longest reigning monarchs, as he has been the Sultan of Brunei since 1967. Meanwhile, Indonesia President Joko Widodo, popularly known as Jokowi, served as mayor in Solo or Surakarta City, then later on served as governor of Jakarta, prior being elected as president of Indonesia year 2014. Widodo worked before as a furniture maker. He is a son of a wood seller. Widodo remains popular with ordinary Indonesians and also among the youth in rural and urban areas. Meanwhile, former ASEAN Chair Lao President Bonhang Vorajit was appointed President of Laos by the National Assembly last April 2016. He also serves as the General Secretary of Lao People's Revolutionary Party. Prior being the president, he served as Vice President and Prime Minister of Laos. Prime Minister Hun Sen has been the longest ruling Prime Minister in Cambodia since 1985. At the age of 33 years old, he assumed being the Prime Minister of Cambodia. He was born year 1952. Prime Minister Najib Razak of Malaysia obtained his Industrial Economics degree in UK. He returned to Malaysia year 1974. He is the son of Malaysia's founding father, Tun Razak. At an early age of 23, he was elected as a member of the Malaysian Parliament. He held different cabinet posts like energy, telecommunications, education, finance, and defense, prior being Deputy Prime Minister year 2004. Year 2009, he assumed as Prime Minister of Malaysia. These are just some of the leaders of the ASEAN member states in attendance for the 30th ASEAN Summit. For PTV News, Diane Querer.
The family of Mary Jane Veloso, who was arrested and sentenced to death for smuggling heroin in Indonesia, has appealed to the Philippine government to exert all its efforts to grant Mary Jane clemency. Celia, Mary Jane's mother, went to the Office of Presidential Advisor for OFW Secretary Abdullah Mamao, asking if President Duterte can discuss her daughter's case with Indonesian President Joko Widodo. Widodo will be arriving in the Philippines this week to attend the ASEAN Summit.
Medyo nagbago po yung pakiramdam ko ngayon kasi para nawawalan ako ng pag-asa eh. Pero ngayon pong nakausap ko po sila at maganda ho yung pagkakasabi nila na susulatan daw po nila na yung embassy po ng Indonesian at darating daw po si President Widodo, bibigyan din daw po nilang sulat at kausapin daw po nila ng personal si Jose Agripo ata. Para po bilisan daw po yung kaso ni Mary Jane dahil masyado raw pong mabagal, 7 taon na raw po, wala pang nangyayari. Opo, masaya na rin po ako dahil medyo nabuhayin nga po ako ng loob ngayon. Dahil ang sabi nga po nila, ganon, masaya po ako. Ngayon at nakausap po sila at okay yung sinabi nila sa amin at talagang action daw po sila agad, actionan daw nila agad para raw po mabilis yung kaso ni Mary Jane na matapos na para sana makauwi.
Come Friday and Saturday, when the summit meetings formally open and commence, there will be that elephant in the room nobody but no one shall or can no longer ignore. PTV's Joy Gumatay dwells on this carpe diem moment that affords the host country the opportunity and the leverage to put the West Philippine Sea issue on top, front and center in this momentous powwow, and decisively draft a code of conduct on the South China Sea all ASEAN member states can live with in this report.
The Department of Foreign Affairs is confident that the West Philippine Sea conflict will be tackled at the ASEAN Leaders Summit 2017. This despite the lack of formal meetings to comprehensively discuss the ins and outs of the controversial issue. According to Foreign Affairs spokesperson Robespierre Bolivar, they're holding on to the commitment of the 10 ASEAN member states to finalize the Code of Conduct mid-2017.
Ang gusto natin talagang mangyari dito sa summit is that we build on the progress of the past 2 years para strengthen lalo yung community building efforts natin.
Nevertheless, Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon urges Philippine government representatives to take advantage of our chairmanship to specifically lay out provisions that will uphold our sovereign rights in parts of the West Philippine Sea, to control China militarization, and to preserve the rich resources of the disputed territory.
We have a decision in our favor, and we must continue to avail of every opportunity to assert that that ruling by the arbitral court.
DFA assured it will protect the rights of the public, most especially the Filipino fishermen, from the aggressive moves of the Chinese Coast Guard while the diplomatic dialogues continue.
Filipinos may expect a productive ASEAN Leaders Summit 2017 towards the resolution of societal problems that hinder regional growth, such as maritime conflict. For PTV News, Joy Gumatan.
An immensely tight, even indestructible bond of kinship exists among all the 10 members of this emerging and contending economic and cultural alliance in this part of the Pacific Rim that has allowed it to grow and flourish in the last 50 years since its inception. PTV's Trixie Jaafar cites an example of this regional phenomenon in this 30 by 30 report, 30 years since the first hosting to the 30th summit occasion this year.
The official start of the 30th ASEAN Summit is currently underway, with the Philippines being the host country to the members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. One of the most important core of the said summit is the continued membership and alliance of the 10-member group in Asia. People with different nationalities from ASEAN countries who are based in the Philippines expressed their ideas regarding the importance of the ASEAN Summit.
It's a convergence of countries from the Southeast Asian region, wherein nagpupulong-pulong sila para makita na yung mga challenges, yung mga opportunities ng isa't isa.
In the same association, so they can work together to get bigger in the future with the global market, even including with the economic for development and also the humanitarian.
So they trade each other's goods, they help each other. Like bawat bansa, pag may problema, they try to talk and solve it. So yun ang big advantage of being one of ASEAN country.
The existence of the regional organization plays a big role in terms of promoting peace, security, foster economic cooperation among member nations, and humanitarian assistance.
We need their help para matulungan nila tayong ma-discover yung mga resources natin and ma-maximize natin yun.
As Indonesians, we are very, very excited because of course, like the relationship between Indonesia and Philippines will get even better now. You know how we had the tsunami in Indonesia last time. Philippines also helped with the victims and everything. And at the end of the day, we are all human, so we have to help each other.
Moreover, they expressed their support for the ASEAN and Philippines being this year's host country.
ASEAN 응원합니다. 화이팅! 하자!
Saya mendukung ASEAN. Sebagai orang Indonesia, saya mendukung ASEAN di Philippines.
I support ASEAN.
This will be the third time that the Philippines will host the ASEAN Summit. The first was in December 1987, which saw the approval of the Manila Declaration 1987 that promoted the principle of sustainable development and its integration in all aspects of development. For PTV News, Trixie Jaafar.
PTV News will be back in just a short while. Stay tuned.
The fish are eating. So should you, anak.
Thank you.
You're welcome, anak.
What does anak mean?
It means my child.
Kung may reklamo ka, Dial 8888, the Public Complaint Hotline.
Bawat pahina ay puno ng mga ngiti. Ngiting kay sarap pagmasdan. Ngiting abot tenga. Ngiting pinagsasaluhan. Mga ngiting katumbas ay tagumpay. Harapin ang bagong simula ng may pag-asa at ngiti.
The government's top lawyer dismissed as baseless the case filed against President Rodrigo Duterte before the International Criminal Court. On Monday, Jude Jose Sabio, the lawyer of self-confessed hitman Edgar Bato, filed a complaint in The Hague, the Netherlands, against President Rodrigo Duterte and 11 senior government officials for allegedly violating the articles of the Rome Statute through the commission of mass murder or extrajudicial executions during Duterte's term as Davao City Mayor and now as Philippine President through his aggressive campaign against illegal drugs. Solicitor General Jose Calida explained that the criminal case may not prosper beyond the filing of the communication, since the ICC has no jurisdiction to take cognizance of the case. The complaint also lacks merit and fails to satisfy the requisite elements of mens rea in these crimes. Calida pointed out that the president has openly condemned the killing of innocent civilians in legitimate police operations. There are also adequate laws and remedies available in the Philippines to address the issue of alleged extrajudicial killings. The ICC may only exercise jurisdiction where national legal systems fail to do so, the Solicitor General further noted. The Malacanang said President Rodrigo Duterte is committed to saving lives of Filipinos by stopping drugs in response to an editorial published by the New York Times titled, "Let the World Condemn Duterte." Presidential spokesperson Ernesto Abela said they have a clear disagreement with the editorial, which was based on a complaint filed by a lawyer of a self-confessed assassin. The editorial had urged the International Criminal Court to immediately start preliminary investigation based on the complaint filed by Jude Sabio, the lawyer of self-confessed Davao Death Squad hitman Edgar Bato. In response, Abela highlighted the fruits of Duterte's crackdown, noting how crime went down by 30% across the nation during the first few months of the new administration. OFW death row convict Jennifer Dalquez has asked a United Arab Emirates court to acquit her of her charges of murder. According to presidential spokesperson Ernesto Abella, the move for her acquittal comes after the sons of her victim skipped a hearing they were instructed by the court to attend. This was the second hearing they had ignored. Dalquez was imprisoned in December 2014 and was sentenced to death in May 2015 for killing her male employer. She said her employer tried to rape her at knife point and she accidentally killed him in self-defense.
For our business news, the Department of Labor has issued a wage advisory stating that the No Work, No Pay scheme will take effect on April 28th. The date declared by Malacanang as a special non-working holiday due to the country's hosting of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations Summit 2017. Labor Secretary Sylvester Bellew III said that those who will report for work on the said dates will be entitled to get premium pay or an additional 30% of the worker's daily rate on the first 8 hours of work, another 30% of the hourly rate for overtime work, and another 50% of the hourly rate if the holiday coincides with the employee's rest day. Jobs, jobs, jobs. Probably the most significant and critical issues that, if addressed comprehensively or exhaustively, will lead to a domino result of solving other major concerns in the national agenda, such as poverty, crime and delinquency, and social justice, among others. PTV correspondent Lala Babylonia examines the labor status quo and the current dispensations initiative to improve it as the country prepares to celebrate Workers' Day next week.
The Department of Labor and Employment will generate more jobs to address the 6.5% unemployment rate in the country. To be noted, the unemployment rate in the Philippines is the highest among other ASEAN members. This is why the Duterte administration promises to generate not less than 2 million jobs for Filipino applicants.
So yun ang isang paraan na matutugunan yung unemployment rate natin. Sigurado tayo na malaki ibabawas niya sa unemployment rate na yan. We are expecting a reduction of unemployment rate from 6.5 to probably maximum of 3%.
Along with the upcoming Labor Day celebration on May 1, 10,000 job opportunities will be available in job fairs in Central Luzon, and hundreds of jobs will be available nationwide. Meanwhile, 7,000 job postings will be offered in PhilJobNet, the online job matching system of the government. For PTV News, Lala Babilonia.
The world's fourth biggest GDP and the EU's top economic power is also the globe's undisputed automaker last year and is upbeat and keen on engaging and pursuing business prospects with the nation, especially in the realm of developing renewable energy sources that will address the issue of climate change. PTV correspondent Alan Francisco narrates the optimistic thoughts expressed aloud by the Deutschland envoy to the country on this two-thumbs-up partnership in this report.
Well, the Philippines is a strong economy. It's growing. It's very attractive for foreign partnerships, for investments and trade relationships. So, well, we believe in the Philippines. The Philippines has a young, dynamic population and well-educated.
This is how strong the trust of Germany in Philippine economy under the administration of President Rodrigo Duterte. Hence, according to Ambassador Crick, they are confident with their partnership in the country in terms of business, trade, and investment, particularly in the energy sector or the application of solar power with the help of their advanced technology.
Germany is a worldwide leader in solar energy and in renewable energy, and we believe here in the Philippines it's an ideal country for German technology, solar technology, and this is also why we are very happy that we have this partnership. And I think we can cooperate very well with the Philippines, and we are happy that we have now this partnership here that will show the way for others to follow.
Last night, the negotiation of a Germany-based renewable energy and a foam brand company in the country was recognized. It is in relation with the application of solar energy in the said Philippine company, which can save electricity. Meanwhile, the Department of Science and Technology is positive in this action.
It is an honor to participate in Filipino business making use of German-Philippine technology to transform and update its business model. To me and to the department, adoption of this existing technology as exemplified foray into solar power is your entry point to participate with government in its efforts to innovate and develop our capabilities and technologies in order to pursue national development.
Germany is also open with their continuous partnership in the country on environment protection. Meanwhile, the International Monetary Fund believes on the fast improvement of Philippine economy in the next 2 years. The Duterte administration had also proudly presented their plans in the economy through Dutertenomics, which aims to encourage more investors and will benefit the Filipino people. For PTV News, Alan Francisco.
Year-to-date numbers just in indicate the projected number of tourist arrivals the country hopes to generate for 2017 is well within reach. Sufficient proof intensified efforts of the tourism department have not gone in vain. PTV's Marita Moahe identifies the uptick due to a surge in investors from the Dragon Nation born of a nascent and much friendlier Phil-Sino relationship in this report she filed.
An uptick of approximately 11% or about 670,000 tourists was recorded for January this year per Tourism Assistant Secretary Frederick Alegre.
We're actually in what we call a boom cycle. We had close to 6 million tourist arrivals in 2016. The ambitious target for 2018 is 7.5 to 8 million. This year alone, we're up by 11%. We have more than 1.2 million arrivals in January and February this year.
From this number, around 12% or 90,000 visitors came directly from China, which is now the fourth biggest source of visitors after the South Koreans, the Americans, and Japanese respectively. Thus, the million count from the Dragon Nation this year is well within reach. which makes the 8 million target arrival a not so far-fetched number, albeit the recent spate of negative travel advisories. Yet, a lot more needs to be done to prop up the country's image and reel in the guests from abroad.
Middle East, we still have to really work on that. Parts of Europe, maybe the Eastern European side. The president's going to Russia next month.
Okay.
We know that the Russians used to come here a lot to spend weeks and months here, and we're hoping with the president's visit to Russia next month, we can bring back the arrivals from Russia.
And the slogan from the last administration, "It's more fun in the Philippines," stays and will change if need be.
The focus now, or the main centerpiece of the whole campaign, is the Filipino spirit.
Okay.
It's no longer just the destinations. The destinations will be there, but we want to promote the Filipino, its traits, as in warm hospitality. When you are with Filipinos, you're with family. We want to promote that now as a centerpiece of the campaign. It's high time that we promote the Filipino as the centerpiece of the tourism campaign.
Meanwhile, Tourism Chief Juan Dateo echoed her plea to those nations to recall their travel advisories and for others to refrain from further issuances. This is because of their immensely damaging effects to the nation's cause. For PTV News, Marita Muaje.
Let's face it, the state of the nation's agricultural industry is not far removed from the feudal ages, with a tag team of manual labor and the beast of burden still doing all the work from pre to post-harvest phases. PTV's Julius Desamburun reports on a huge leap the industry is taking with the arrival of 4 prototype manufacturing machines that the nation's farmers couldn't wait to get their hands on this Labor Day week to begin automating their work.
The government is now pushing for the development of the local farm machinery manufacturing industry in the country, as mandated under Republic Act 10601, or the Act promoting agriculture and fisheries mechanization and its development. This year, 4 new prototype manufacturing farm machineries are set to arrive to help boost the agriculture sector. The Philippine Center for Post-Harvest Development Mechanization, or PhilMec, sees this as speedy action, since the transport of the machineries only lasted for 6 months right after the agreement was made.
Yeah, we are modeling our farm mechanization scheme after Japan and Korea. Why Japan and Korea? Kasi we have almost the same geographic sa kanila, farm size, yung kultura halos. Ang kagandahan nito, yung technology transfer. Ang model nito, lahat ng po pwedeng gawin dito sa Pilipinas, dito gagawin. Yung mga iba namang parts ng machine na hindi pa kayang gawin sa Pilipinas, kukuhanin sa Korea. Then later on, lahat na yun, 100% siguro, through time, dito na gagawin.
Executive Director Junicio Alvindias shared that the facility will be established in a 5,000 square meter land within the PhilMec's compound in Muñoz, Nueva Ecija, in which a system to manufacture one-cylinder engine will be developed to help boost domestic agriculture. 3 of these machines are set to be presented to Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol during PhilMec's anniversary in May.
Noong 2013, ang level of mechanization natin is 1.23 horsepower per hectare. Ngayon, nag-import tayo ng maraming machines, siguro mga nasa 3 to 4 ang level of mechanization natin yan. Yung mechanization na inaano natin, hindi lang rice mechanization, pati livestock.
PhilMec emphasized that President Rodrigo Roa Duterte's state visits contribute a lot to agri-development, as these include stakeholder-driven and unified research, development, and extension agenda.
Malaking tulong kasi ang kagandahan doon sa lalo na yung pagsama ng Secretary kay President, nakikita nila yung mga breakthroughs So nagkakaroon ka ng idea at naibabahagi mo rito, yun yung magiging yun yung magiging basis mo para doon sa development ng country.
For PTV News, Julius Desamburon.
The main PSEI went up 25.99 points, or 0.34%, to close at 7,726.45. All counters were in the green except for financials, which declined 0.41 points, or 0.02%, to close at 1,296.08. Total volume reached 1.729 billion, valued at 6.456 billion pesos. Winners led losers 98 to 81, while 55 stocks were unchanged.
This is PTV Info Weather, and I'm Ice Martinez. For tonight's update, the tropical cyclone locally named Dante had already intensified as Category 3 or tropical storm and had entered the Philippine area of responsibility earlier today. Based on the latest satellite image of Pag-asa, the Dante is 300 kilometer wide in diameter. Now, the local weather bureau clarifies this will not directly affect any part of the country, and it was last spotted about 1,105 kilometers just east of Dirac, Catanduanes. Now, it's forecasted to recurve by tomorrow and exit PAR by Saturday. And as for tomorrow, on the latest weather map of Pag-asa, partly cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms will be experienced over the rest of the country, while higher chances of thunderstorms will be up over sections of Caraga region as well as areas of Central Luzon, including here in Metro Manila and portions of Calabarzon and Mimaropa. As for those of you heading out for some fun under the sun this long weekend, let's check out our beach weather forecast over here in Pagudpud. Over at Ilocos Norte, we shall expect possible light rain showers in the afternoon or evening with possible highs of 38 degrees Celsius by tomorrow all the way until Saturday. Now we are expecting higher temperature by Sunday at 39.2 degrees Celsius. As for Subic area, the heat indices will play around at 36 to 38 degrees Celsius over the next few days with possible light rain showers in the afternoon or evening and thunderstorms, while Iloilo area will also expect the same weather condition with possible highs of 36 to 37 degrees Celsius. Now, for those of you heading down south over at Boracay Island, let's check out the weather at Boracay for tomorrow. Good weather condition all throughout the long weekend with possible highs of 31 to 32 degrees Celsius. As for those of you heading to Palawan area and Bohol, same weather condition as well with possible highs over at El Nido at 34 degrees Celsius and the Batangas area at 33 to 34 degrees Celsius as well. Now, here are some tips to battle dehydration or heat cramps for those of you heading out. Don't forget to bring your sunscreens to protect yourself from direct sun exposure. Always wear light and bright colored clothes. Also avoid meals with high sugar or protein content as well as alcoholic drinks in the afternoon, as these products cause produces heat in the body or may dehydrate. Now, light foods are recommended, and of course, always remember to hydrate regularly. Let's head on now to our ASEAN weather outlook forecast. This coming days here in Metro Manila, we shall expect higher temperatures this weekend at 38 to 39 degrees Celsius with possible rain showers in the afternoon or evening. Now, Metro Cebu and Metro Davao, we have the same weather condition due to the easterly wind flow or easterly winds with possible high of 37 degrees Celsius and Metro Davao at 36 to 37 degrees Celsius from Friday all to Saturday this weekend. Meanwhile, let's take out a quick look of our Asia cities forecast for tomorrow. That's the latest only here on PTV Info Weather. This has been Ice Martinez. Have a pleasant evening.
PNP Chief Ronald DELA ROSA revealed how the love blossomed between Police Superintendent Maria Cristina Nobleza and an alleged ABUSAYAFF member, Renierlo Dongon. We'll tell you more of the details when PTV News returns.
Pagkuha ng mga political service exam ng mga tatakbong kandidato. Dapat o hindi dapat?
IQ test, IQ score will never measure the ability to lead properly.
Mas iboboto ng taong bayan ang taong may alam kaysa sa taong walang alam.
Tutukan ang nangungunang youth-oriented debate show ng bayan. Schoolmates, Huwebes, alas 8 ng gabi. Ang award-winning drama sa Korea, nasa PTV na. The legendary Dr. Ha-Jun.
Ako si Urjun. Sa tingin ko, biyasa ka na ng medisina dahil sa mga pinupuslit mo. Nandito ka rin ba para pumuslit ng gamot pangkalakal?
Pinadala ako ng maestrado ng Pyongyang upang tugisin ang mga nakatakas na kriminal sa kulungan.
Subaybayan tuwing Sabado at Linggo, alas 9:15 ng gabi. Dito lang sa PTV.
PNP Chief Bato DELA ROSA has revealed how the love blossomed between Police Superintendent Maria Cristina Nobleza and an alleged ABUSAYAFF member Reniero Dongon. The two were caught after they tried to evade a police checkpoint in the night. The military launched its second operation against the ABUSAYAFF group in Bohol. While Nobleza claimed she was only there for vacation, police later uncovered supposed text messages between herself and a supposed ABUSAYAFF member asking for rescue. Eunice Samonte has the full details.
Literally sleeping with the enemy. This is how PNP Chief Director General Bato DELA ROSA described the relationship of the police superintendent and a member of a terrorist group of ABUSAYAFF. Love bloomed between ABUSAYAFF terrorist Reniero Dongon and Police Superintendent Maria Cristina Nobleza as early as 2013. But just like other love stories, theirs too had a tragic ending, which gave rise to the revelation of even more deeper mystery in our national security. According to the PNP chief, Dongon was detained at the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission or PAOCC after he was arrested in Marawi and brought to Manila. Nobleza was then assigned at the PAOCC and was tasked to interrogate Dongon. The supposedly serious interview between the law enforcer and the terrorist turned out to be the start of their love story. Nobleza is a native of Naga City in Bicol, married to another police official from Class 91. She became the Chief Intelligence Operations Division of the Directorate for Intelligence from 2008 to 2011, was assigned to Crime Lab, to PNP Anti-Illegal Drugs Group of AIDG, then back to her mother unit into Crime Lab Region 11 this year before she became a Bleak Islam convert. Reniero Dongon, aka Renren, on the other hand, is said to be a student of Malaysian terrorist Zulkifli bin Hir alias Marwan. He has been charged with double murder, involved in kidnapping, and was said to be involved in 2015 Zamboanga bus bombing. But not only that, these two have great connections. Renren's sisters are also part of the terrorist group's inner circle. From Zainab, who became the wife of ABUSAYAFF founder Abdurrajak Janjalani, was also married to the brother of ASG founder Gaddafi Janjalani. And upon the death of Gaddafi in 2006, Zainab married the international terrorist group leader named Marwan, who also died in 2015 Mama Sapano encounter. Amina, on the other hand, is the other sister who is also connected with a terrorist group. She was married to Abu Sulaiman, or the other ABUSAYAFF leader. On the other hand, another sister of Renren named Lorraine is also married to Ahmad Santos, a known founder of another terrorist group named Raha Sulaiman Movement. This, according to the officials, is just part of a bigger picture which they are now investigating. Superintendent Nobleza is now facing criminal charges like illegal possession of firearms after high-powered firearms and materials for bomb making were found in her home. She is also facing charges like obstruction of justice and disobedience to the law. Meanwhile, Renren has a double counts of murder filed by PNP during his early age. For PTV News, Eunice Samonte.
A survey released by the social weather station showed that 3 in 5 Filipinos favor the revival of capital punishment or death penalty. Out of the 1,200 respondents of the March 25 to 28 poll, 61% approved a proposal by the House of Representatives to reimpose the death penalty on heinous crimes, while only 23% disapproved. This yielded a good net percentage of plus 38. The SWS noted that there was a higher approval for the bill among those who were knowledgeable about it.
The Supreme Court has junked a petition that halted the construction of the Torre de Manila condominium near Luneta Park. The High Court says there is no law that prohibits the construction of the challenged Torre de Manila. The full details from Marita Muahe.
There is no law which prohibits the construction of the controversial Torre de Manila. Thus, with a 9-6 vote, the Supreme Court dismissed the petition for mandamus filed by the Order of Knights of Rizal, which asked to stop the construction of the said project as it is in the sightline of the Rizal Monument in Manila. Because of this, a temporary restraining order or TRO was also lifted. We asked the opinion of Juan de la Cruz on the issue and especially over the reason of the structure being such a national photo bomber that ruins everyone's viewing pleasure of the Rizal Monument.
Ito maganda kasi nakikita naman po natin yung background na sa likod ng park ni Rizal na walang ni isang building. Tapos, di maganda rin kasi pag nagpipicture dito, nakikita na photo bomber yung building, kaya ang panga din po tignan.
Ano, ang tagal mong nawala sa Pilipinas dahil galing kang Malaysia.
Oo. Gusto ko sana ipakita sa bus ko. Yung buong Lunita, ganun. May magtatanong sa akin, ano yung building na yan?
Hindi po kasi talaga ako pabor at all. Maling-mali sila. Bakit pinagpatuloy nila yung kung bawal? Diba? Dapat stop na nila yun. Dapat nga po pag-iba na yun eh. Maganda na lang po siguro dyan yung ginagawa po, yung may nagsuggest po na lalagyan siya ng harang. Para hindi na lang siya makita. Parang malaking paint art.
Despite the many who feel disappointed with the new view behind the monument, there are also those who just brush it off and say, why not just find a way to cover the building? Or better yet, look for a better angle which would exclude the edifice from the picture.
On the artistic point of view, parang ayaw ko. Pero kung talaga naman nakatulong yung building na yan sa ekonomiya ng Pilipinas, andyan na yan.
Though saddened with the SC decision, Congresswoman Pia Cayetano, who led the Senate probe on the construction of the Torre de Manila in 2014, when she was chairperson of the Senate Committee on Education, Arts and Culture during the 16th Congress, says it was a good fight.
Kaya napaka-importante po, from the very start, we protect. And that is why I and the heritage advocates still believe that this was a good fight. It will continue to be a fight that I hold close to my heart because we need to continue educating LGUs and all Filipinos about the importance of protecting the heritage sites within their area. Baka mamaya pumayag yung barangay, tapos pumayag yung city. By the time na dumating sa korte, may problema, di ba? The new law that I will make will clear that, but there may be others, right? So kailangan it starts within.
For PTV News, Marita Muaje.
Absolutely nothing in this world such as a free lunch, as the cliche goes. All the more no charge, handout, no-cost housing anywhere on God's green earth. This in sharp contrast to what urban poor groups maintain to justify their forcible takeover and assumption of a housing project in Bulacan meant for members of the military and the police force. PTV's Julius Samboron once again with a report on current efforts by the National Housing Authority to avert a recurrence of the major snafu by militant freeloaders.
Contrary to the claim of the urban poor group Kadamay, the National Housing Authority clarified that the government housing projects entail payment and are not for free. NHA made this statement in answer to another militant group's plan to follow Kadamay's occupation of the AFP PNP housing projects and its move to pursue that houses be given free of charge.
Hindi man libre, subsidized, ika nga. Ang sinisingil lang sa pamilya ay 225,000 dahil kaltas na yung 35,000. Yun ang tinatawag na price subsidy. Pinagaan, as I have said, yung pagbabayad, yung sa lupa, 6% interest per annum. Yung sa bahay, wala ng interest. Sa unang taon ng pagtira or paglipat, walang bayad. So 1 year libre ang bahay. They start paying on the 2nd year.
The Housing Authority assured the security of government housing projects and their legitimate residents against dispute and illegal claims.
Police your ranks. Sana wag nang maulit at madagdagan itong 5,918 kasi yun ang sabi nila na miyembro na nag-ukupa sa Kadamay. Tapos yung mga homeowners association, we will strengthen them to be more vigilant. And also the barangay, the participation of the barangay in terms of yung mga ganito. And no less than the president na rin. Statement niya talaga, wag nyo nang uulitin ito.
Kadamay insists that the government must give the units free of charge to them since the homes that they have been staying in have been unoccupied for the past 2 to 5 years. NHA welcomes Solon's statements to review housing plans and pattern them to private development projects with road and public transport access. The Government Housing Authority also emphasized that everyone and not only Kadamay has been given priority and accommodation.
In fact, yung mga nakapila sa amin na 55,000, no? But that's still subject to eligibility screening again. Kasi ito yung mga talagang naiiwanan kasi hindi pa sila nasa danger, hindi sila nasa government infra. Maybe most of these are renters.
The process of giving priority to individuals is implemented with transparency and proper check and balance. The construction of houses by the NHA continues to cater beneficiaries, including relocated individuals from unsafe areas, waterways, and permanent housing, as well as the victims of Typhoon Yolanda. For PTV News, Julius Desamboron.
The operator-owner of the ill-fated bus that plunged into a ravine in Nueva Ecija could well be charged with tampering with official documents upon the latest eureka moment that found official registration records not matching with reality. PTV's Jervis Manahan with more on the unfolding drama and developments on the tragic bus mishap last week and the LTFRB's preparations over the threats of militant public transport groups to go on strike Monday next week.
The engine of the Leo Maric bus, which fell into a ravine in Carangla, Nueva Ecija last week, is already 33 years old. LTFRB officials found out through Isuzu Philippines that its engine was manufactured in 1984. Its age is already double of the recommended 15-year bus life. However, its certificate of registration bears another year.
In the CR of the LTO, the year model is 2006. But when you determine the age of a rebuilt bus, you go to the oldest component. So the year model should have been 1984.
Lizada says it has been a common practice for bus lines to combine chassis and engines from different buses. That is why the agency will be stricter in the implementation of its policies. In fact, Secretary Artugadi has already called for a meeting to strengthen an order that will ensure buses will only be used for 15 years.
We will be coordinating with DTI and Bureau of Customs. Sila kasi yung nag-i-import, sila yung mga papel, sila ang naglalagay ng mga requirements. So ang isang ilalagay na requirement ay kailangan na merong certificate of manufacture from the manufacturing company or a certificate of manufacture from the country of origin.
We went around the Araneta Center bus terminal to check the age of some buses and found out that they are relatively new. Drivers are also in favor of the policy.
Dapat lang po siguro para sa siguro din lang po ng pasahero sa malayong biyahe po sa amin sa Bicol. Alam naman po siguro ng LTFRB kasi sa kanila po lang yung restro may ano naman sila niyan kung ilang taon na yung bus.
Maganda kasi na bago din yung mga bagong sasakyan kasi mahirap din kasi nag-aberya sa daan eh. Magpipisout na yan, babaguhan daw ni Busing. Babaguhan daw ni Busing pagdating ng 15 years.
In the end, the government agencies are just thinking of the welfare of the riding public.
The vision of LTFRB is to provide world-class land transportation services that will contribute to the development of the country.
For the PTV News, Jervis Manahan.
The maintenance provider of the Metro Rail Transit Line 3 cried foul over the blame it has been receiving for recent train glitches. The Department of Transportation warned it may even cancel the company's contract because of these glitches. The company, however, insisted that it did not fail in its duty of maintaining the train, saying it has delivered more than what has been specified in its contract of services, despite the present old conditions of the MRT trains. Ria Fernandez has this report.
The Department of Transportation targets to replace the rail of MRT-3 soon. According to Transportation Undersecretary for Railways Cesar Chavez, the procurement for the 1.2 billion pesos rail replacement is ongoing. However, Chavez stressed that the maintenance of the rail is still the obligation of the train's maintenance provider, Busan Universal Rail Incorporated or BURI. In a press conference Wednesday, the company explained in connection to the train glitches. It said there were incidents beyond its control. Nevertheless, it was never remiss in fulfilling its duties.
We have never been remiss
about the satisfaction of our maintenance obligations, no?
Meanwhile, Puwersa ng Bayaning Atleta or PBA Party List Representative Jericho Nograles took the chance to grill officials of Buri like in a hearing. Nograles is the author of the bill proposing to conduct a congressional oversight hearing over the MRT glitches. The lawmaker asked why despite the maintenance shutdown during the Holy Week, series of problems still hit MRT. They answered,
walang conclusive na reason kung bakit nangyari after the Holy Week. Nagkataon na nangyari after the Holy Week.
Nograles praised Buri for facing the media, but he said he is not satisfied with their explanation.
Ngayong araw, pinakita nila na maraming problema sa MRT na labas sa kanilang mga kontrol at labas sa kanilang kontrata. Maraming mga explanation na na-offer nila that are technically correct, but hindi naman nila ine-explain ang buong problema.
On Friday, Buri is set to submit to DOTR its explanation why contracts with MRT should not be terminated. For PTV News, Ria Fernandez.
Josephine B. wrote that she had been divorced from her husband a long time ago from abroad. She says that she wants to now correct and update all her records by reverting to the use of her maiden name. She wants to change her passport entries too. Thus, she wants to know what she should do first. Josephine, first you have to engage the services of a lawyer to assist you. Meanwhile, prepare the following documents that are essential and necessary in the filing of a petition for recognition of divorce. First, a marriage certificate issued by the NSO, which is now known as Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA, and or PSA Advisory on Marriages, commonly known as CENOMAR. 2. Certified copy of the divorce decree issued by the court abroad. This must be certified by the Philippine Embassy in the place where you were able to get the divorce decree. Third, certified copy of the notification of divorce. Fourth, a copy of the divorce law of the country that granted you the divorce decree. And sixth, other documents may also be asked of you by your chosen lawyer to prove other matters related to your petition. Be reminded that our opinion is based solely on the information you provided us. It may change depending on any additional information. You are free to consult a lawyer of your choice regarding your legal concerns. Email us at ptvbatas@gmail.com. Attorney JJ Jimeno Atienza for the Rule of Law.
In news overseas, in many parts of the world, invasive species contribute to the destruction of local ecosystems already threatened by climate change. One of the most pervasive is the lionfish, a voracious predator from Asia that is depleting native coral reef fish in the Caribbean. Now a new underwater robot is showing off a way that technology can help on the front line fight against invasive species. VOA's George Pudic has this report.
A voracious predator itself, this exotic venomous beauty is prized both by chefs and aquarium enthusiasts. The fast-breeding lionfish started showing up in the Caribbean in the 1990s. Biochemist and entrepreneur Erica Ebel says it has quickly become a big problem in Bermuda. She spoke to VOA via Skype.
They replicate at a ridiculous rate. So one lionfish can lay 30 to 40,000 eggs every 3 to 4 days.
It has had no natural enemies in the world it invaded until now. A remotely controlled underwater robot recently tested in Bermuda is hunting the hunter, showing off an innovative way to stop the lionfish's killing spree among smaller fish that clean corals in the Caribbean. It was designed by robots in service of the environment under the motto, "You have to eat them to beat them." With 2 extended arms serving as electrodes, the robot named Guardian, remotely controlled from surface, stuns the lionfish with a quick jolt of electricity before sucking it into its chamber. Next stop, the kitchen.
We need to figure out how to catch the fish, how to bring the fish
into the ecosystem of supermarkets and dining rooms around the world. And by doing that, we have a fighting chance to solve this horrible problem.
At the robot testing event, visitors could taste the lionfish prepared in different ways. Executive Chef Rob Ruiz, who also spoke via Skype, says lionfish is also interesting from another point of view.
These robots in service of the environment can show that they have a significant cog here within marine protection, within preservation of species, being an effective tool to restore the equilibrium in a particular ecosystem, in a particular ocean at a particular time.
Builders of the Guardian admit their robot won't make a big dent in this massive problem, but say a more affordable machine could help local fishermen keep lionfish on the menu and provide them with steady income.
For our sports tonight, after defeating Oklahoma City Thunder, the Houston Rockets is now bent on getting another crack at the championships 22 years after the squad had its last taste of victory. Kesun Sean has this report.
Houston Rockets has made it to the Western Conference semifinals after dominating Oklahoma City Thunder earlier today, 105-99. The Rockets will move into the semis after clinching a 4-1 win-loss card in the first round of the playoffs series. The Rockets relied on James Harden, who inked up 34 points, vis-a-vis the 47-point performance of Russell Westbrook. The Rockets made a 5-1 run to get the 98-91 lead towards the last minutes of the game. After scoring 20 in the third quarter, Westbrook slowed down in the field and shot only 2 out of 11 field goals. The Rockets will be facing whichever team wins in the San Antonio Spurs versus Memphis Grizzlies series. For PTV News, Kay Asuncion.
With a sport introduced in the country for only a decade, the national Finn swimming team is slowly making waves after clinching titles in the Asian scene for the last 2 years. Almost a month before its title defense in the junior Finn swimming competition in Kaohsiung, Taiwan, the flag carriers are into serious preparations. More of the details from Kesun Sean.
The national squad is now undergoing a holistic approach for its training program to ensure its readiness to tackle the upcoming 2-day swim fest. Philippine Finn Swimming Secretary General Mary Ann Reyes revealed that star tanker Tehila Mag-aso is one of those she expects to lead in their campaign at the May 27 to 28 showpiece.
May bagong mga applications at ginawa ang UP, which is more handy, no? This time, mas handy siya, and at the same time, mas marami din yung nako-cover niya. Tinetest niya yung speed, tinetest niya yung plyometrics niya, tinetest din yung kanyang flexibility. So, ginawa natin yung last December. Based dun sa resulta, ipinasok na yung mga buwan na meron tayong competition. At based dun sa mga dates na yon, ginagawa yung mga exercises, land training, pool training, para mag-akma dun sa araw ng laban.
Still, Reyes admits that there is no room for them to be too confident at the competition, especially when their rivals have already leveled up.
Hindi tayo nagre-relax. Unang-una, nakatihila na yun, dapat ipaglaban niya. Pangalawa, dapat mas bumaba pa yung oras niya. Pangatlo, dapat mas maintindihan niya na kung nanalo siya noon, yung mga kalaban na yun, nag-practice ng 10 times nung ginagawa niya. So, she must be ready, and she is ready to defend her title.
Carrying the Philippine flag with Mag-aso at the Taiwan meet are Princess Aseo, Jalalo Mendoza, RJ Ambre, Prince Augustus, Gail Malbas, and the rest of the national team. For PTV News, Kay Asuncion.
The National Capital Region, or NCR, holds the most championships in the annual Palarong Pambansa. The NCR got its 12th championship after being declared overall champions last 2016. According to the official results released by the Department of Education 2016, the region's dominance in the yearly sporting event started in 2005 after bringing home 104 gold medals, 57 silvers, and 48 bronzes. In the headlines, the 4-day series of Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN 2017 meetings and events started today in Pasay City. Key issues that will be discussed in ASEAN meetings include crafting of the Code of Conduct for the West Philippine Sea, the ASEAN integration, and fighting terrorism. PNP Chief Ronald Bato de la Rosa has revealed how the love blossomed between Police Superintendent Maria Cristina Nobleza and an alleged ABUSAYAFF member, Reniero Dongon. The two were caught after they tried to evade a police checkpoint in the night the military launched its second operations against the ABUSAYAFF group in Bohol. A social weather station survey showed that 3 in 5 Filipinos favor the revival of capital punishment or death penalty. The SWS noted there was higher approval for the bill among those who were knowledgeable about it. LTFRB officials found out through Isuzu that the engine of the Leo Maric bus, which fell into a ravine in Carangala, Nueva Ecija last week, is already 33 years old.
And those were today's headline stories on PTV News. I'm Catherine Vital with Richmond Cruz and Charm Suspina. Thank you and good evening.